You have to set a goal that has to be time bound. When are you going to get there? That's important because guess what? If you need to get to Orlando today, then you're probably the only way you're going to get there. Well, you could drive overnight, but if you want to get there in 3 hours, you need to be on the plane. If you need to get there in 10 years, you got all kind of routes that you can get there, ways and adventures. You can get on a bicycle and just travel and just take your time and eventually get there because you don't need to be there till, 10 years. And so being timely with your goals will really help you laser focus on the amount of action and the amount of tenacity that you need to attack these goals because it's a marathon for most. And the thing is, the last thing that you want to do is start a marathon, but you don't want to take your first step until 2 hours into the marathon and then expect that you're going to win and that you're going to finish at a time that you're a respectable time that you'll be proud of. And so the thing is, you have to be timely with the goals that you set. So making sure that, hey, you're going to do that, you're going to get that one rental property, but how much are you going to get we're going to give? If you have the money right now, why are you waiting till the end? We're going to give yourself a year to do something that you can get done in a quarter with finding the deal, getting the put financing in place, and then closing on it. And so you want to make sure that you have a sense of urgency and you're timely. You're not procrastinating. You're not letting fear take over. False evidence of being real. At the end of the day, and so when you're going through and understanding that you want to be time bound, that hey, if you want to foster a better relationship with your spouse, that you're like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. We're gonna do one date night a year. Like what? That's not timely. You probably should do one date night a month or weekly or whatever it is. Or if you want to build $10,000 of passive income with your portfolio and you're 25 years old, you need to start investing. At least a couple $100s a month. Pick up an investment property in the next 2 years, your first one, or pick up an apartment complex in the next 3 years where you can put a down payment. But if you're age 50, your execution is going to look a lot different than someone that's 25 years old. Or if you're 60, your execution is going to look a lot different. But the thing is, and I'm here to tell you that there is still time to execute. And one of the big things that I see with so many people that want to invest and want to get into real estate, they don't realize the power of their retirement accounts, their 401ks, forgotten 401ks with previous employers, and being able to reallocate that money into buying real assets. One of the examples I did during our last 401k workshop, I talked about buying $1 million apartment complex inside of your self-directed IRA, taking $200,000 as a down payment in your self-directed IRA, getting a loan because there's banks that loan your IRA money, getting a loan, buying up $1 million property in your self-directed IRA is producing $5,000 a month in cash flow. That $5,000 a month of cash flow is a deposit each and every month to your and that cash flow is after all your expenses and paying your mortgage. That goes into your self-directed IRA. So now putting $200,000 in this property, boom! Now you're bringing in $60,000 a year of income. So over 10 years, it's adding $600,000 of cash flow that's coming into your account. Then you also have the property appreciation over 10 years, 5% appreciation. That's 50% appreciation. Now that property is worth $1.5 million. So now your IRA that you started with putting 200,000 in, buying an apartment complex, and now you're at $600,000 of cash flow that's coming to that self-directed IRA. And now the asset that the IRA owns is not 1 million when you bought it. Now it's 1.5 million in value. And so that's the thing that you have to realize, that there are different strategies and ways that you can use the resources you have today to help you build wealth, to help you get back on track, to help you get back on your timeline to accomplish the goals that you want to. But you have to think about it different, because the way the old adage and the old planning that you have out there of going to work for 40 years to live off 40% and only take 4% of your money each year to live off on, those days are long gone for most people. Not to say it doesn't exist, but for most people in the lifestyle and where inflation is today, that you have to blend in owning real assets with your overall equities and your stocks that you own in your portfolio in order to make sure that you have enough to get you to your final destination of where you want to be. Because we're all living longer, we're staying in better health. And, with that, with the health, that there are situations where you have long-term care costs, long-term care needs that are out there. And that, if you're having to have assisted living and pay $8,000 a month for a facility for 2 years for a loved one or for a spouse, that can easily, wipe out a lot of resources that you have saved in retirement. So there's different strategies out there and things that you need to talk to, but that's why you have to have a plan. You have to make sure that your goals are timely and everything that you're doing, you have a sense of urgency for all these things at the end of the day because they are important for everything that we're trying to build.